Halloween is just around the corner and I don't want you guys to feel that you're missing out by keeping to your eczema diet. So in order to do that, I've come up with some really great sweet treat recipes, eczema friendly for you guys, so that you can really enjoy this holiday season. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Layla, and on my channel it's completely dedicated to all of those of you with eczema, TSW and any other skin inflammatory condition that you might be suffering with. This is the channel to be watching. In today's video, I'm going to give you two really great eczema friendly, safe recipes that you can make super easy in your own kitchen. First of all, we're going to be doing some gummies, and these gummies, you can use various different molds. I did this recipe in my Halloween video last year, but I've really leveled up my game this year because I've invested in some Halloween molds. So there's some really cute bats and ghosties and cats and pumpkins. So I can really play around with these cute little gummies and also use different colorings at the same time, completely naturally. And then at the same time, I've also got some sugar cookie cutouts, again, some pumpkins and some bats and some ghosties and some cats, just so that I can have great fun. And then you can decorate these as much or as little as you like with sugar icing, and I simply use just a little bit of sugar and water just to do a little bit of a decorative touch to these cookies. You're not obliged to have to do that. In the recipe itself of the sugar cookies, they're completely gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, and egg-free, and they're actually really good for your skin because they're packed with flax seeds, so that can give you the natural boost of the omega from the flax seeds will come through on your skin completely naturally from the inside out. So first off, I love to make my own gluten-free flour blend because I know exactly then what is inside my gluten-free flour. There's a lot of flours out there on the market which have all sorts of ingredients that I kind of want to avoid for my eczema and TSW, and by doing my own flour, I can completely in control of what is in my baking. So first up, I like to add oats, a gluten-free oat, and I like to blend this up using the grinder section on my Magic Bullet, or you can use a coffee grinder that's clean, and this gives me an amazing, lovely fine oat flour, and I add 1 cup of that to my mix. I then like to add 1 cup of rice flour and then half a cup of tapioca or potato starch, and I like to mix this all up in a bowl so it's completely mixed through, and then re-jar that back into my mason jar, and I get to keep that in my pantry for any of my gluten-free baking needs, be it cookies, be it cakes, be it breads, whatever it may be. I'm ready to go with my own homemade gluten-free flour blend. Lastly, I love to be able to label all of my mason jars so I know exactly what I've got in my pantry. It keeps me clean and tidy and organized, and I get these sticky labels from Amazon, and I'll put them down in the link below for you guys. So kicking off with our cookie dough eczema friendly recipe, we're going to use 1 cup of our gluten-free flour blend that we made earlier, along with 10 grams of a gluten-free baking powder, and we're going to mix that all into a bowl along with 1 teaspoon of salt. As a sugar replacer, I like to use the xylitol, which is a type of natural sweetener from the birch tree. This is a great option as a white sugar replacer. I like to use it because it measures really low on the glycemic index, making it less inflammatory. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Flax seeds are also a brilliant way to replace your egg. This actually binds all of your baking ingredients together, and I like to grind it all up in my Magic Bullet to give it a nice fine powder, and that really helps with the baking process. Next up, we're going to empty the cookie dough from our bowl onto a flat surface, and we're going to actually wrap that up in some cling film and put it in the fridge for an hour to help set. Like all cookie dough, you want to knead it into a nice round bowl, and this kneading really helps prepare it for when you're going to roll it out and do your cuts. You can keep the cookie dough mixture in your fridge for up to 5 days or in the freezer for up to a month to use next time. Next up, we're going to roll out our cookie dough paste. Now the trick here is not to roll it out too thin. You want to have at least a couple of mil thick, because if it's too thin, then when you come to doing the cutting, some of the little bits and pieces might fall off the edges, and you don't want that. These are my fun, festive Halloween cookie cutters in so many great fun shapes. We've got pumpkins and bats and ghosties and hats, and I really enjoy this, and this is the funnest part for us as a family, is doing the cutting and all the decoration, ready for trick-or-treat night for all our neighbors and our friends. So then you want to make sure you warm up your oven at 180 degrees, and when you've cut everything out and put them on a tray, you can then bake for about 25 minutes. Do check on your cookies regularly whilst they're cooking in the oven, because I kind of overdid this batch. They're a little bit brown around the edges, a little bit overcooked, but my second batch turned out really great, so I was really happy with those. But as you can see, these ones were far too thin. So I did make this white icing with just icing sugar, water, and it is kind of nice and thick now, which is great. So I'm going to put that in my piping so I can start to decorate my cookies. And here I just did a black icing as well. I know there's quite a bit of sugar in the icing, but it's kind of like the only treat part that's not part of the eczema safe diet, but at the same time they are good. Otherwise, what you can just do is just do a few lines of icing. You don't have to go all out with all of this thick icing like this, and just do a few lines of different icing using either a few coloring drops, or you can just get these kind of frosting tubes that you get from the supermarket. Next up, we're going to make our gummies. Now with the gummies, we're going to use half a cup of apple juice. You can use any juice that you want to use, especially if you want to have different colors. Then for our sweetener, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, which is a nice natural sugar to be using. And then to give it that zingy taste, we're going to add some citric acid. Now be very careful with how much you use, depending on how tangy and zingy you want these sweets. My kids absolutely love having zangy sweets. Then we're going to add some gelatine and put that in a pot, and then we're going to turn the heat up, and it's going to give us this real sort of silky, almost jam-like consistency, which will be the base for our gummies. And we're going to pour that into our molds, and these molds are perfect for jellies and gummies. And then we're going to set that in the refrigerator for about an hour. Now, as I said, you can use different juices. I like to use pomegranate juice. I like to use beetroot juice, and all these different juices can give those different colors for the gummies, whether it be a clear gummy or kind of like a more milky color. recipes have given you guys some really good inspiration to get into the kitchen and give them a try. They're really yummy and tasty, and they will really help you stay true to your diet. If you guys got some value out of this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments if you have given these recipes a try, and send me some photos. Let me know how they all turned out. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys all next week for another one. Happy Halloween! Look here, what we doing, guys? There's like, all the gummies are gone and probably only 7 cookies left.
No? Oh yeah, there is.
What happened? I've only gone 5 minutes. Which are your favourites?
Gummies.
Why gummies?
Because they're sour and they're more sour than normal sweets.
Really? So you prefer the sour than to the actual sugar sweetiness? Interesting. And Zav, what about you?
I like both because I like the icing.
Uh-huh.
And I like the gummies because they're squishy and also they're sour.
Yeah.
So I like probably both.
You like both? So there you go, you guys. They're a super hit with my kids as well.
Happy Halloween!
And we'll see you all next time.
I ate the last gummy!
Oh. Bye.